Hello, everyone, and welcome to Evolve Yourself TV. I am Agni James, as some of you are well aware, and some of you are not well aware that I am Agni James. To those of you who do not know that I am Agni James, well, I don't know what to say to you. Welcome in. I primarily stream guided meditations. That's one thing about this channel, and also, other stuff goes on here as well. Interesting things go down here. You have to be careful, though. You never know what's going to happen. Very strange things go down here. We delve deep within to the source of oneness, at the heart of creation. Because, most people look externally. They seek and search and spend their entire lives looking outward, trying to find happiness. But implicit in that concept is the notion that they're empty within inside, because they wouldn't be looking externally for happiness if they already had that fulfilled feeling within their hearts. So it's it's just one of those things. But we're trained to do it because if Western materialism can't sell you a product, can't make you feel like you're lacking something and then give you a solution, then they're not doing their jobs, because how are they going to make money, right? Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let me catch up with everyone in chat. Let's see. We got Ignorant. Hey, good to see you, my trusty mod. Good to see you. Liquid Stealth. Hey, bud. How's it going, man? It's good. It's good that you're here as well. How have you been? Let's see, you say you hear the chant. Yeah, I had the chant going in the background for part of the intro. I figured I'd mix it up to kind of show that even in the midst of chaos, because I actually had two different songs going and it was pretty chaotic, right? And I figured even in the midst of chaos, there's always inner peace. You can always find inner peace. Now, is it easy? No. Speaking of things, look at this. Someone knows what this is. Miss JT Farms. Thank you. And this I still have to figure out if I'm going to put on the mala. JT, thank you again for sending that to me. Look at Self. You say you've been having trouble. Oh, you've been having trouble lately? What's going on, man? You say when you go out and have to drive, others around you clearly don't know how to drive. LOL. You get angered and you feel like that dents and the good work that you've been doing. Yeah, dude, road rage is so common, man. I get it too, dude. I get it too. Just the main thing is just first of all, don't be so hard on yourself. When you do get angry in life, because we're gonna get angry at times. And then also just realize, it's not a matter of just always being calm, but once you get angry, just try to do what you can to relax, to calm down a little bit. The Buddha, the source of all suffering is ignorance, right? A lot of times what people are doing, the reason why we get angry at them and especially when we're driving, is because of ignorant moves, right? People not using their turn signal when they should, or people, running red lights, or other stuff. And sometimes people do intentional stuff, but that still can be under the umbrella of ignorance, right? Because if someone's not feeling good, they're more likely to drive aggressively or whatnot, right? But it's still not easy. The main thing is to not beat yourself up, though, and just try to regain composure when you can. Let's see. We have a follow. Baby Cakes, welcome in. My name is Agni James. I primarily run guided meditations here. I'm also a chess instructor, IRL. And I have a master's in analytic philosophy, so we do philosophy streams in here as well. Welcome in. Thanks for the follow. We have a good community here. We have been streaming for about 3 years, and if you're into chess, philosophy, meditation, or absurdist humor, you're in the right place. If you're here to troll, depending on your level of trolling, you're in the right place. There is a line, but it's you never know. You never know where that line is. We have another follow. We have Gyro Robo 926. Thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Like I just said, I've been streaming about 3 years. We do primarily philosophy, meditation, and chess, because that's what I do for a living. I teach chess. So, and absurdist humor. So, don't take anything I say too seriously, unless it's something about like improving your health or your well-being, right? Because that stuff I don't joke around as much about. Okay. All right. Let's see. Baby Cakes, you say, no, you don't. You're not a snowflake. All right. Well, whatever, man. Whatever, whatever pronoun you use, whatever, it's all good. Yeah. Gyro, you say, hello. Can you ask a deep question about kind of expenses, especially buying healthy food? Absolutely. You can ask any questions you want here. I may not have a good answer, but I will do my best to respond in a fashion that is respectable and whatnot. Let's see, you say, do you ever feel like unregulated capitalism causes democratic institutions to deteriorate into an oligarchy of imperialism, exacerbating support of counter-revolutionary wars and various forms of economic and cultural exploitation? Well, there's a lot to unpack there. Let me break that down a little bit. We're getting a lot of follows. Thank you so much, CKK Crimes. Much appreciated. Welcome in. Do I feel that way? Do I feel like unregulated capitalism? Well, first of all, unregulated capitalism. I mean, I don't think we really have unregulated capitalism. I think we don't allow certain monopolies. The government every once in a while steps in, right, into business affairs. But overall, I'd say the argument is it's primarily unregulated. But yeah. I mean, there is some level of government intervention. Okay, so anyways, unregulated capitalism causes democratic institutions to deteriorate into an oligarchy of imperialism, exacerbating support of counter-revolutionary wars. I mean, yes. I mean, to a certain extent, right? To a certain extent. But that's how it's always been. This is nothing new. And it's not just capitalism that causes that. It's just that's just human nature. Human nature. When you get enough people all brought together, these kind of things happen. And people are exploited. So I mean, financially, culturally, in many ways. But if I'm really hearing what you're saying here, It sounds like you're down on capitalism and down on the whole capitalistic notion of supply and demand and the unsustainability of capitalism and all that stuff, right? Maybe I'm just talking about my own penchant towards something better, but yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. But I think the funny thing is, I think these questions can be answered in most contexts, and I think it's just real simple. In the end of the day, it just comes down to power. Because even in systems, if you look throughout the course of human history, any system, any governmental system that has ruled for a long period of time it's eventually gets corrupted. Power corrupts, and the people at the top, they skim, they take extra. There's been very few examples throughout the course of human history of any kind of society that has no corruption. I mean, that's just, and I think it's better just to come to terms with that and say, hey, you know what? Corruption is part of human nature within this illusory dualistic framework, right? Kant, in the Enlightenment, drew the distinction between the phenomenal realm and the noumenal realm, right? The phenomenal realm is the world of worldly experience, the world of driving to work, getting married, inhabiting a body, all those things, right? And then you have the noumenal realm, right, which is the things as they are in themselves, things that are not diluted by our senses and by our by the limited amount of sensory input that we can actually take in, and the way we process that with our limited processing power, right, of the human brain, right? So these questions are all about phenomenal realm stuff. I tend to focus more on the noumenal realm, the world of what I consider as truth. And that's that perfect place of oneness and love that underpins my metaphysics and underpins a lot of people's metaphysics. There's a lot of terms for it. You can call it the source of creation, you can call it God, you can call it universal energy. There's a lot of words for it. All right. Anyways, back to chat. Let's see. What else do we got here? We got a bunch of follows. Baby Cakes, you say you are too. You need to evolve. Yeah, I mean, we all. I don't know. I mean, maybe we are evolving, right? Maybe we are evolving. Maybe we're regressing, right? Who knows? Right? That's an interesting concept, right? I struggle with that. You know, whether we're actually moving forward. And when I say we, I mean I. You know, or any other human being. You know, whether there's such a thing as progress. We always say that there's such a thing as progress, right? Human beings like to believe that we're moving towards something, we're progressing. Are we? Are we progressing, or are we just changing? Are we just mutating into something else, right? I mean, you know, we have this notion that we're moving in an upward trajectory, right? You know, and a lot of times we look at technology and say, oh, but look at technology, Agni, look at technology. You know, we can do all these new things and cool things. But just because technology and science is progressing doesn't mean that human nature is progressing, right? It doesn't mean that as a species, you know, we're reaching any higher plateau of human consciousness. I mean, we could be regressing for all we know, and technology is just, you know, one area in which we're able to do things quicker and more efficiently and whatnot. All right, K Crime, you say no cap, you need guidance. Your girlfriend left you. She got pregnant. That's intense. Okay, so real world issues. So now we're going to go back to the phenomenal realm and we can discuss this. See, this is not my area of expertise, but I would just say she left you, she got pregnant. That's got to be a rough situation. You know, I'm sorry that you're going through that. Do you believe that you two would have had a sustainable relationship, like that you could have worked things out? And do you believe that the potential is still there for you to work things out? And then let's see, Baby Cakes, you say, through outer knowledge, whether from books or the internet, is not satisfying. You may wish to learn a way to explore further by looking within, where all wisdom awaits. Yeah, I mean that's what I agree with for the most part. You know, a lot of my philosophy is going within to the place of oneness, and then looking outward. Most people they search, you know, they travel all around the world to try to find some guru that's gonna tell them what to do and tell them what to say, and or you know they read all these books that, you know, to listen to what, you know, wisdom they can ascertain from that. And you know, there's a time and a place. I mean, I have a master's in analytic philosophy. I've read tons of philosophy. I've read tons of religious texts, right? You know, it's just, and there's some great tidbits you can get there. But you can also, but I've learned way more from just going within during meditations, during yoga, things like that. And when you go within, the cool thing about going within is that there's no falseness, right? If you're truly open and receptive, and you're able to you know, go within that place of love and joy and experience that oneness, then everything else kind of pales in comparison, and all those little worries that we had fall away. Now there are some bigger concerns, right? Like the woman that just left you when she got pregnant. Now that's a legit concern, right? That's a lot bigger than like getting like a scratch on your car, right? You know, so you know, that's just how it goes. Okay, all right. Let's see. Gyro, you said you were raised Catholic, but when you read this passage in the Bible, for example, what does it have to do with anything? Let's see. If a man actually lies with her so that her menstrual impurity is on him, he shall be unclean for 7 days. Yeah, I mean, I don't look too deeply into that kind of stuff. You know, I feel like it's mostly if a biblical passage resonates with you, if you read something, you know, whether from the Bible or the Quran or you know, I don't know, Buddhism or Jainism or any you know, any of the world's religions or any philosophies, right? You know, like whether you're like a Davidsonian, you know, in philosophy of language, or whether you're and you're trying to understand, how communication works, and you're trying to say, oh well, context and content, there's a function of context and content, and we're using that to fix reference and to not just fix reference, but then to create meaning, right? So whatever philosophy you believe in, if it jives with you, if it feels good to you, if it feels right to you, then go with it, and see what you can learn from it. If something just immediately rubs you the wrong way, then it's probably not meant for you, or at least there's another side to that too. It could conflict with things you already believe, creating cognitive dissonance. And if that's the case, then you might be actively resisting it because of the emotional, mental turmoil that you're experiencing. All right. So what? Now you're saying CK Crime. I know like anal. She says she doesn't like anal. Is that the deal? Is that what you're implying? Or a null? I'm just gonna say that we're on Twitch. So you're saying that because you don't like anal, she left you. Well, that's a thing for some girls, right? Yeah, and there you go. Yeah, okay. So it's like, I don't know. To each his own, or to each her own, right? I hope you're not offended if I say to each his own. I was trained to use the masculine pronoun, when I was doing my learning back in the day. But yeah. Anyways, it's just one of those things. There's some people that don't like missionary position, right? And it's like, if they don't like missionary, it's like, do you break up with them? That's your preference, right? Let's see. Anyways, where else are we? Yeah, and Gyro, I hope I somewhat answered your question. I don't want it to sound too weaselly when I say, well, if if it jives with you, then go with it, and if not, don't. I think when people take too literal of an interpretation on anything, it just really can fuck with their reasoning. And here's the main reason. My main argument for it is simply of context, right? When we read something that's thousands of years old, our background assumptions that we hold, like our foundational belief set, is so radically different than the background assumptions and the foundational belief set of those people, that we're going to interpret things vastly different than they interpret those things. And it's like, I don't even know if it's possible for us to interpret those things in much the same way. Now, some people will argue, well, maybe we can if we dig deep enough and really understand the history, and really do spend our lives trying to understand the historical context. But I still think there's going to be a gap. There's going to be a certain level of misunderstanding that's always going to occur, especially the more with temporal relativism and cultural relativism, and just the way different contexts change everything, right? Like the context of right now is going to be radically different than the context of tomorrow, even, and the context of tomorrow is going to be even more radically different than the context of a year from now, right? So if you listen to one of my first, if you checked out one of my first streams, and you didn't understand, and then you checked out this stream, the context is going to be real different, right? Okay. Oh, should you tell her to get an abortion? Okay, so let's get back to phenomenal world stuff. We're gonna do the Kantian thing. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? You try it, it doesn't feel good. Okay, so you don't like anal, but you're wondering if she should get an abortion. So I don't know. That's her decision, right? At the end of the day, because it's her body. That's like the majority consensus, right? Her body, her decision, right? You can have a conversation, right? You guys can have a conversation about it, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Gyro, you say a Catholic, you don't want to be gay. Do not cheat on your wife. But if your wife has menstrual, you can't do that either. Why do God give us penis? It literally seems like a sick joke. Well, there's right? We're looking at writings from thousands of years ago, right? Do you believe everything you read in the newspaper nowadays, right? Do you believe everything you read in from thousands of years ago, right? I don't know. Maybe there was a reason. There was probably a reason why it was written back then. My personal opinion is just not to take things so literally, right? to kind of like look at the big picture. And also, one way you can kind of, one way that I navigate understanding is and meaning is to look at like what overlap there is, right, between like different religions. Like, let's say every single religion contains certain base premises that are all identical, right? Then you can maybe like say, hey, that's that subset, right? That subset of premises within each religion and philosophy that overlap, that is identical, right? Maybe there's more truth in that stuff, especially if it jives with what you experience as a human being, right? Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what matters. Yeah, don't get too hung up on the literal stuff, right? See crime, you say you're going to spend your life alone, then you can't evolve. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question, right? Some people will say you can evolve more. You can evolve more by just going up to a mountaintop and just sitting up there, right? I mean, that's who's to say you can't, right? Who's to say you can't? I personally believe it's the reason there have been times in my life where I thought, I should just go and exist alone, away from the world. But at the end of the day, it's part of the human condition is interacting with other people, right? And that's I don't know, it kind of feels like a little bit of a cop out to just go off and just be apart from everyone. Hydrate, cool, yeah, I should drink some water. Thank you, I appreciate that, baby cakes. All right, so I always come out here. We're pretty intense. Everything's like pretty wild, and I have a lot to say. And let's see, I come out here. I'm ready to engage with everyone in whatever capacity you seem fit. And then we slow things down and go within. To the place of peace and oneness in our hearts. Find a comfortable seated position. You can sit on the floor in lotus pose. You can sit cross-legged, or you can sit in a chair. The main thing is to find a position that is comfortable for you. And then gently close your eyes and take a few slow, deep breaths on your own while maintaining good posture. I have an Amitabha Buddhist chant that I play that has a chime that rings every 2 seconds. And you can use it to help regulate your breath count. So take a few more slow and deep breaths on your own, while maintaining good posture. Inhale through your nose, gently raising your belly. Exhale through your mouth, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in through your nose, slowly raising your abdomen. Breathe out through your mouth, slowly lowering your abdomen. Stay focused on your breath. Inhale, raising your belly. Exhale, lowering your belly. Breathe in, raising your abdomen. Breathe out, lowering your abdomen. Keep your awareness on your breath count. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Your breath calms your body, and your body calms your mind. Be mindful of your breath count. Visualize yourself sitting on the tallest mountain peak. Watching the clouds float through the sky beneath you. Two clouds float together and merge into one. And one cloud stretches apart, dividing into two. These clouds float through the sky before disappearing over the horizon. These clouds are like your thoughts. Thoughts come into being, existing for a while in conscious awareness, before disappearing from your mind. That is the nature of human thought. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that does not serve you well. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all that is of no benefit to you. Stay focused on your breath counts. When distracting thoughts enter your mind, visualize them as clouds floating through the sky before disappearing over the horizon. And return your focus to your breath count. Your essence is love. your love is manifested as light. You shine your light on others in this material world through acts of kindness. Helping others remember their own internal light within themselves. So they may shine their light on all whom they encounter. Until all of humanity is reunited perceptually as one once again. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that is of no benefit to you. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all ego which obscures your third eye sight. Stay true to your breath count. As thoughts arise in your mind, picture them as clouds floating through the sky before disappearing from your mind. And return your focus to your breathing. On your next breath, travel down beneath the level of conscious awareness. Go to the region of your heart chakra. Feel the love emanating from this location. And the warmth which surrounds your love. Experience the perfect peace residing here. And the joy which accompanies it. In this place, you exist in a state of perfect monism. Opposites of any kind are impossible here. Division and separations cannot exist here. For that which is eternally one and the same can have no parts. Boundaries of any kind cannot exist here as well. For that which is all-encompassing can have no boundaries. Distractions of any kind do not faze us here. For what are distractions except lessons to quiet our mind? All that exists here is perfect love. Flowing eternally from the source of all creation. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that is of no benefit to you. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing any ego which blocks our third eye vision. Stay true to your breath. When distracting thoughts arise in your mind, release them without condemnation and without judgment. And return gently to your breath count. On your next breath, travel all the way down to your navel. Two inches below your belly button to your Dantian energy center. The place where your essence flows the strongest. The center point of your being. Focus your attention on this place of non-duality. giving yourself permission to reside here at your center. Allowing yourself to experience the perfect love that is you. And freeing yourself by choosing to identify with that perfect love. By doing so, perception slowly vanishes. As you gently melt into the flow from the source of creation. Being grateful that you remember who you truly are. Allowing all lacks to be filled. Focus deep on your center point. And when you're ready, travel through. I'll see you on the other side. Here, at your center point, you recall your true identity. At your center point, you remember why you chose to exist in this worldly form. Here, at your center point, you recall your divine purpose. Which is to shower love and kindness on all those whom you encounter. helping others remember their true identity. So that they may fulfill their function just as you have. By extending love and kindness to everyone whom they meet. And forgiving all without exception. Including yourself. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all stress and tension from your worldly form. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all doubt and fear, supplanting it with love. And stay true to that love within you. Gently open your eyes, returning to the present moment and this worldly form in this phenomenal realm. Remembering your purpose is to spread kindness and love to everyone you meet, and to offer forgiveness to yourself, every situation, and everyone you meet. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing this sacred space with me. I am honored and humbled to be here with you as your meditation guide. I sincerely hope you feel more grounded and stable, more peaceful and loving, and more joyful and kind than you did prior to the meditation. And I truly hope that you possess the humility to be able to take that peace and love that you have acknowledged within yourself and share it with all those in the external world. For that is how miracles are performed. So choose to be a miracle worker. Choose to spread love and light. Namaste. All right. How was that for everyone? Let's see. That was a 35-minute meditation, which is excellent. That's a great amount of time to meditate. And I'm so happy that I could share that with you. And I really needed it personally. I needed to reconnect with the source. I've been feeling detached today. I've been feeling detached from creation. So thank you for being here with me. And it's not the same, obviously, if I'm here alone meditating. There's a different feeling when I can serve my purpose and share what I have with you. So thank you. Let's see. Namaste, Liquid Stealth. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hey, Swiss R is here. Let me get to this Hydrate Redemption first. Swiss R, otherwise known as Twitch himself, amazing streamer from Switzerland. Doesn't stream as much anymore, but is a good dude and was one of the people that was instrumental in getting me started in my streaming career 3 years ago. Twitch, it's been 3 years, man. So a big shout out to Swiss R. Could one of the mods give Swiss R a big shout out? JT, love and light to all. Well, thank you, and I'm glad you enjoyed the meditation as well. Swiss R, wonderful. We got a good crew. We got Liquid Stealth in here. You say that one was lit. Yeah, that one felt right. That one felt really good. That one felt really on point. I agree, right? Sometimes I come on here with meditations and they feel they're good, they're okay. We get to sit and practice quieting our minds, but that one really was able to get us into that source of creation, right? Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what we need. We need to remember who we are, and we remember who we are by going into the source and realizing we are an extension of that source. So yeah, thank you, man. I'm really glad that you enjoyed that. All right. Let's see. Liquid Stealth, you say, take you back 34 minutes ago. Zwar, you say, we didn't bring all those trolls earlier, by the way. No worries. Trolls are a great opportunity to quiet our minds, right? I don't mind trolls. Now if we have 100 trolls, that's one thing, right? Obviously, but having a few trolls is actually a good thing. One of my favorite things to do is to wander off into the woods. There's a wooded forest preserve a few miles from my home, and I wander off there and at 2 or 3 in the morning, just wander off in the middle of the woods, sit down on a log somewhere, put on headphones, and I'll just I'll listen to some intense metal, right? I'll usually like Gorguts or something like that, right? Something that really is super intense, and I won't leave the woods until I am at a state of perfect peace and oneness, even with this blaring in my ear, right? Super fast beats, atypical sound structures, all that stuff, right? All that chaos, right? Because that's like my training, right? So trolls are kind of like that. When I see trolls on here, it kind of makes me happy, because it's like, okay, it's can I not allow the trolls to affect me? Can I maintain perfect peace and oneness with the trolls here, right? And then also at the end of the day, if they're too obnoxious, I have faith that one of my trusty mods will take care of it, right? So the trolls are a good thing. And remember, the Buddha said all suffering is the cause is because of ignorance, right? So I'm here for everyone. I'm less likely to ban someone than a lot of streamers are. I don't tolerate racism, obviously, or sexism, but for the most part, if someone's gonna troll a little bit, so be it, right? At the end of the day, we're on Twitch, and I have 8-year-olds that wander in here, and they're like, "What is meditation?" Right? And they're learning how to interact, and they're just kind of at the point where they can say the same things they've heard in other chats, and they're trying to get elicit a response, then that's good. Let them say their piece. All right. Swiss, 3 years, 2 months, and 22 days. That's a long time. That's a long time, Swiss. Wow. You've definitely been here. You've been here forever. Zwar, by the way, thank you so much for the raid earlier. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Big shout out to Zwar. I don't know if anyone gave you a shout out, but I want to give you the cool shout out. There's different types of shout outs. You get the cool kids shout out. Yeah. Because then you can just click on the top and you can follow Zwar. Zwar is amazing. Zwar is a tenacious motherfucker. Him and Mrs. Zwar. Zwar went on and how many days in a row? It was over a year, right? It was definitely over a year of yoga, like every day for I don't know how many days. It was something like 300, 400, 500 days of it he streamed in a row. And like primarily Zwar does gaming, but he's a yogi. He's a yogi at the end of the day. And it's pretty amazing that he had the tenacity to come on here and do it, and to do it and to share yoga, with everyone. And the cool thing about Zwar is people already knew the guy. It's not like it was his first stream. It's like he already had a following, from his gaming and stuff like that. He already had a following, and he's a really likable dude, like the most laid back, guy you'll meet, very likable dude. So like he already had a following and he introduced his community. And so you already had a certain level of like street cred, right? People were like, hey, we already like you, and we're going to be more open to what you have to offer because of that. So I think that's cool. You've done a great service for humanity. You've planted a lot of seeds. And that's why I'm always going to be one of your supporters, and why I respect and care about you. That's one of the reasons. You're also pretty damn good at some of the games you play. See, I'm a Doom Eternal guy myself. I was actually playing that earlier. I'm still playing. Did you hear they're making another Doom? They're making another Doom. I don't know if you heard that, but I still load up Doom, the old Doom Eternal. It's old. What is it like? It's like 4 years old now or something. But I think that's one of the best first FPSs of all time. I also like I'm a big Halo guy. I like the first 3 Halos, especially 1 and 3. But that's just how who I am. Let's see. Oh, a Chubby and Bearded rated. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if. Oh, it was Chubby and Bearded. He felt bad interrupting, but he called. You talked him into coming. Okay, I knew you had something to do with it. But Chubby and Bearded. By the way, Chubby and Bearded. Tell me about you. Like, what do you stream? What do you stream if you're still around? Or Zwar, if he's not around, could you let me know? I'd love to give the guy a shout out. Let's give him a shout out. Him or her. I'm assuming you're a dude, but I could be wrong. Just correct me if you identify what pronoun you want me to use. I'm terrible with pronouns. Let's see. Why is this not working? Should go. All right, there we go. Everyone follow Chubby and Bearded. Let's see. Oh, you say he may be in bed now, but he's a fellow metalhead. He's a fellow metalhead and amazing beard haver. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Cool, dude. Cool. Well, thanks for talking me into raiding me, man. That's pretty badass. You. Anyone new to the community? My name is Agni James. I primarily stream guided meditations. I love metal. I'm mostly into avant-garde metal. By the way, Zwar, they just had 2 metal fests in the U.S. I don't know if you were able to catch either of them. One was in Milwaukee 2 weekends. I think it was it 3 weekends ago? It was either 2 or 3 weekends ago. No, it was 2 weekends ago. And then there was another big metal fest somewhere. I think it was a little more on the East Coast. And fucking Arcturus actually came. Goddamn Arcturus flew in from Norway. They flew in from Norway, man, to perform, man. I wish I could have been there. One of my buddies got to go. He got to see Arcturus perform. That's like that is the band that got me into metal. La Masquerade Infernal is one of the best metal albums of all time. It revolutionized the way metal was made, especially in the avant-garde scene. It's so good. If you're going to listen to it, I'd say tracks 1 and 3 in particular, Master of Disguise and The Chaos Path, they're just so different. They're so unique. I mean, prior to that, most metal was just like, the standard, like, like cranking things out. But this was like this incorporated like carnival type music, and like this whole like it's a lot of clean vocals and avant-garde and symphonic elements, and it was just into this perfect mixture of just bliss, and it's so wonderful. But yeah, Arcturus just performed. Now, one might argue that they need a new they need a new wolf. Like their front man is not performing as he should. Vortex, right? But I think Vortex has his place, and I think he still has what it needs. It would be cool. It would be cool if if Garm was there, right? Or like someone like that. But yeah, they do good stuff. Oh, also, by the way, about me, I'm also into, I have a master's in analytic philosophy, or in philosophy, and I primarily do analytic philosophy, but on stream I also do some Eastern philosophy and continental. And then I also am a chess instructor. So if you're into chess at all, I do chess streams, I do chess lessons, yada yada. And that's my thing. Sometimes we even do readings from Grimm's fairy tales and chakra balancing and stuff like that. So, anyways, okay, where are we at here? Zwar, you say, oh, "Wow, that's sick." Yeah, I know. We've had a lot of cool metal bands that are visiting have visited the U.S. Like I got to see Emperor. I mean, who would have thought that I would have got to see Emperor? I mean, maybe Ishan, right? Because he does touring still, just on his own. But like Emperor got together. I got to see them this summer, or not this summer, but like 6 months ago or something like that. And it was so amazing to see one of the founding fathers, one of the OGs of the Norwegian metal, black metal scene, just fucking, crank it out. It was incredible at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago. Like just to see Emperor, it's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? In my life, I got to see them. I never thought I would have gotten to see them. But anyways, let's see. What else do we miss? Oh yeah, 567 days where you streamed. That's pretty fucking incredible. You know what that kind of reminds me of? My buddy Noger, who streams on Twitch. Let's give a big shout out to Noger. Noger is just as tenacious as you. He's Nogre, Noger 0. I think this is it. I don't know. Maybe. He's streaming now. Yeah, maybe we'll give him a raid. Noger has streamed or has read something like 550 philosophical journal articles on Twitch. Like, how badass is that? The dude just has read like he's bringing academic philosophy to the masses. It's like I thought this guy was going to be done after 20, right? Because people were like, how people are. They're like, oh, I'm going to get all excited about whatever, about X, right? And then I'm going to go all in, right? It's like gym memberships, What do people say November 31st? What's their New Year's resolution? I'm going to get in shape. And then they buy a gym membership, and 90% of gym memberships are bought for the first of the year, right? And then people work out in January, and then they kind of tail off. No, this guy has read 550 something philosophical journal articles. You read 500 and what do we say, 67 day. You did 567 days of yoga on stream like that. That's fucking incredible, man. That's pretty badass. Pretty badass that you guys got that tenacity. I'm the same way with certain things. I'm good. I hold my ground and don't give in when it's important. Like when it comes down to helping others and to getting in tune with the source of all creation. I also have a side of me that likes to go off into the absurd and go off and wander off into crazy situations and experience the dark side of existence, right? Because if you experience the dark side, then you can relate better with those who have also experienced lots of trauma and whatnot. And when they're talking, it's not like a foreign thing to you. Like I've lost a lot of friends to heroin. I lost my sister to suicide. I've lost other friends to suicide. I've lost family members to all sorts of things. I mean, I've had a lot of people die in my existence, but you know what? It's given me depth. It's given me the ability to connect with others who have experienced great loss and suffering as well. So that's just how it goes. Zwar, you say you can't be afraid of the darkness if you hope to fight in it. Yeah, exactly. I'm not afraid of shit. You know, I always say bring it. You know, I always say bring it, right? If you're the second you're afraid, you've already lost. The second you're afraid, you've already lost. Now, I'm not saying be foolhardy. I'm not saying, you know, while we have these bodies, you know, within this illusory spatial temporal realm, I'm not saying run, you know, full force into the middle of a battle zone unarmed, right? But what I am saying is, you know, try to exist fearlessly. Try to exist, you know, as if nothing can hurt you, as if you're impervious to pain, right? And most times it will serve you well. Don't walk out in the middle of traffic, but, you know, use common sense, but just shower those around you with love and light, and good things tend to happen. All right. Anyways, yeah. Oh, cool. We got some clips here. Swiss, thank you so much for the clip. Much appreciated. And I think Zwari said sometimes you almost fall out of yoga poses because of stuff in chat. I know, right? But it's great practice, right? It's like when you're in a challenge, you know what it's like? It's like if you're in a yoga studio, right? And like, you know, you're in like, you know, some kind of crazy yoga pose and everyone's like really struggling, and then someone just like rips ass, right? It's just like, it's like, you know, your natural tendency is just kind of like to like, you know, laugh a little bit or at least chuckle, right? But to like maintain the composure, to just be like perfectly calm and just not fall out of the pose and just, you know, stay perfectly focused, it requires a certain level of dedication, right? It's not something you can do at your first time, right? But yeah, and so trolls actually can be, they're great learning tools, right? They're great instruments of learning. Okay, so let's see. Let's first get some things going over here. We are gonna get my raid call all loaded up. All right, bam, 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 bam. So thank you all, by the way, for stopping by. If you are a member, if you're a subscriber of this chat, you know, copy and paste. If not, it looks like my buddy, is Noger streaming, or is that? Oh, Aristotle is streaming right now. There we go. My buddy Aristotle. All right. Aris is streaming, so we are going to give him a. He's a philosophy streamer. He's a legit philosophy professor on Twitch, or not on Twitch, in real life. And then he actually does philosophy. He also he talks about anything. You know, talks about all sorts of stuff in his chat. But let's send a lot of love and kindness his way. Good dude. You know, just spread the love and light. It's always a good thing when you get rated. You know, it boosts your numbers so that you can have more exposure to people, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. We want to spread yoga and meditation and peace and love. So, anyways, we're gonna rate Eris. Thank you all again so much for being here. I love you all. Oh, that's right. It was Chubby. Yeah. Chubby and Bearded. Yeah, that's right. Yes, Chubby and Bearded. Thank you so much for that raid. Much appreciated. Yeah, okay. All right. And we are 9 seconds away from rating Eris. Be good to the people around you. Be a kind human being. Love the people in your life. Namaste.